Well, everyone, thanks for watching and listening. I'm here with Paige Martin, who is in PR and social media and basically all the things. And so we're just going to chat with her about how she got started and where she is now and where she's going. So, Paige, let me ask you our first question. Where are you from?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to do this. My name is Paige. I am 20 years old, and I am originally from Eagleville, which is a little teeny tiny town about 45 minutes south of Nashville. It is like definition of a Hallmark town. If you haven't been, I totally recommend it.
Such a cute town.
It's literally like a dream. So I grew up there, graduated from high school there. K through 12 school, all in one building, small town.
I bet that was fun.
Oh, yeah. And then I work currently. I guess my technical title is I do digital media and public relations for a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series team. I work for Niece Motorsports.
I was going to ask you your actual title. I was like, I don't really know your full title.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, so technically, this is my title. However, whenever you look at everything I do in a week, I'm like, job description's kind of loose.
Just all the things.
Yeah, and I feel like so many times, that's what PR positions kind of become. You're going to do PR. Yeah, you're going to do social media. But, hey, I also need you to go wrap a truck. Or, hey, can you go to this event? Or, did you count fire suits today? Did you count hats for the apparel order? I do
fire
so many
suits.
Yeah. I do so many other random things. I'm like, whatever needs done, I get it done over there.
Awesome. That sounds super fun. So what got you into motorsports? Where does that start?
So for me, racing has just always been a part of life. I truly can't remember a time where it wasn't on TV. It wasn't the talk around the Thanksgiving table. For me, it's always been on or around, I think I started, my great-granddad was a huge Bill Elliott fan. And so I would always play with his little die-cast cars when I was little at their house. And then really, when my stepdad and my mom got together, they started going to races together, and I was like, oh, what is this? So I guess I was like, I want to travel. Can I go? Little 5-year-old me who couldn't sit still. So I started paying attention to it when I was probably 5 or 6, and then I went to my first race. Gosh, when was that? 2013? Yeah, my granddad passed away in August, and he made my mom promise him to get me to a racetrack that fall because I was itching to go. Yeah. Aww. So I went to Talladega in October of 2013. I was 9 at the time, just turned 9, and I've been hooked ever since. So
you caught the bug.
I did. I caught the bug very quickly, and then I guess when I was probably 12 or 13, I was like, I think I want to do PR. I was standing on the fence. I will never forget it. I was standing on the fence at Bristol, and I was in line to get autographs because that's what NASCAR fans do. We like our autographs. And I noticed all these women following these drivers around and handing them Sharpies and getting them to stuff on time. And I remember I asked my mom, I was like, how do you do that? I want to do that. I want to be close to the drivers. Yeah. And she's like, well, that's PR. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I was like, but that's what I want to do. And so pretty much from then on out, that's what I've been set on. You have these people who are like, oh, I have no idea what I want to do. And I was like, yeah, I didn't have that problem. I knew from the get-go.
I love that.
This is it. There's no other options. People ask me all the time, oh, what's the backup plan? I'm like, backup plan? What is that?
I don't need a backup plan.
Yeah, this is all I want to do. So yeah, it's been pretty much head down focused, working to get here ever since.
That's amazing. I love that. That really is a young age to just know exactly what you want to do. That's so cool. I always wish I would have known earlier that this is what I wanted to do. So I'm happy for you I'm happy that it worked out for you that way. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are times where I'm like, it may have been fun to go try something else or to like consider chasing another path. And then I'm like, no, like this is what makes me happy. And at the end of the day, like there's nothing else that's going to compare to the joy I have being at the racetrack, being around the trucks and the cars and everything. Like there's nothing that compares to it for me.
That's so much fun. I need to come out to a race sometime. I've never been to a race. I've been to a drag race before, a couple, I think. Yes, drag race. And then what's the other kind? Like, here's my knowledge. Yeah.
Did you cover IndyCar?
Maybe that is the only one.
Did you cover IndyCar when they came to Nashville?
I didn't. No,
I didn't either.
I can't remember I think we were just too late we didn't apply soon enough, so.
We will get you to a race. Whether it's at the fairgrounds or the super speedway, we will get you to a race this year. Yes. I will make sure it happens.
Yeah, I had some friends that went and photographed it, and they were just like, it was one of their first times too, and she was like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's an experience unlike any other. But like I will always tell people that like they're like, "Oh, you work in sports. Like have you tried out other sports?" I'm like, "No, I haven't. Like I've only done motorsports." But for me, I don't know that I could go do what you do because you photograph football and soccer and basketball and baseball and like every
I have photographed all the sports.
Yeah, I'm like I don't even know where
except
to
for
start.
motorsports.
I mean, come on. But like motorsports is so different. It's almost like its own world.
It seems like it is.
It's hard to translate from motorsports to the other sports. Like I wouldn't even know where to start.
Well, so I see you have been taking photos. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can.
And you do social media as well. So not just PR, but social media. Yeah.
Right. So my day-to-day pretty much looks like I do everything from social media, photography, videography, graphic design. That's kind of all under the digital content part of my job. And then on the PR side, I do a lot at the track. So thankfully, Niece is in a position where we run 4 trucks most of the time, 3 to 4 trucks most weekends. And we have 2 PR people. So my coworker, he is dedicated to full PR, and I'm kind of more in a supportive role right now because I handle all of the social media stuff. So I handle a lot of the PR stuff at the track, not as much during the week because I'm focused on content and building out strategies and stuff. But I get to do a lot with our partners. I get to do a lot with our drivers, both on the social and PR side, which I really enjoy. But like I said earlier, I handle everything from like paint schemes and when our trucks are getting wrapped to, hey, did he have the right fire suit this weekend? Making sure that gets on the hauler before the hauler leaves and like all of those little teeny tiny logistics and details that kind of you don't think about behind the scenes but go into making a race weekend look picture perfect. That's a lot of the stuff I handle during the week. So it's lots of little things. Cool. It's very detail-oriented, lots of time management, lots of organization and lists and checking off and communicating with different people. That's all kind of stuff that I do.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So I decided when I was, we'll say 12, that I wanted to do PR in motorsports. And then I actually did not get my first gig. Like it was so much later, but I was 17, I guess, at the time. It was my junior year of high school. I had an opportunity to do a super awesome campaign with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I was their Student Visionary of the Year candidate. So it was like a 7-week fundraising campaign. I raised like $55,000 for LLS. Super cool experience. That's amazing. Yeah, it's a great experience.
I bet so rewarding.
Yeah, the most valuable thing I took away from it, though, aside from making such a huge impact in childhood cancer, was the networking skills that I learned and the connections that I made. So I actually met a lady at an event I was hosting through LLS whose son had been racing at Nashville Fairgrounds. He was racing Bandolero. entry-level racing, something that my brother actually runs now, kind of a full circle
I was going to
moment.
ask you about that too.
Oh yeah, we'll get into him a little bit later. And we just got to talking one night after an event, and she's like, hey, like, you have social media experience. Would you want to come run his socials? Like, come to the track with us. You can take some pictures, run his socials, whatever. And I think she kind of meant for it to be like a 1 or 2 off thing. And I ended up pretty much falling in love with their family. And I did the whole season with him. He is now my best friend. We talk all day, every day about racing, about life. Like, we're just
That's awesome.
so tight. So yeah, I started with Bandoleros at Nashville Fairgrounds, and that was 2022. And then in the summer of 2022, also through a connection I made with LLS, I got to work with Nashville Superspeedway. I was on their media team for the track during their NASCAR weekend. So yeah, I did a couple different social videos. I wasn't as much behind the camera as I was in front of the camera that weekend, which was a huge step out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I was.
Same.
I remember I left that weekend and I was like, this is the coolest experience ever that I never want to have to do again. And you're going to have those.
I love this. Don't ever do it again.
Yeah, no. I was like, why did I sign myself up for this? But seriously, it was so much fun just to kind of get to see that side of things. Whenever I decided that I wanted to do PR and I started getting a little bit more serious about it, I was like, in NASCAR, there are so many different avenues for PR. You can go work for a track. You can go work for a team. Mm-hmm. Now you can work for drivers independently. You can work for NASCAR as a whole. And I was like, I really want to see all the sides of the sport before I land on a specific avenue and say, this is what I want. So that was kind of what I set out to do. So I checked off my track box by working with Nashville Superspeedway that weekend. I was starting to check off my driver and team box through my fairgrounds connections. I started with Gavin, and then that kind of blossomed into some other opportunities with some late model teams, doing some photography stuff. And then in February of 2023, I officially submitted my resume for a writing position at a website publication. They were looking to start up a new digital content platform covering the sport from more of I don't want to say a modern era, but they were working with different smaller content creators to kind of cover NASCAR in a unique way. So at that point, I was like, well, PR requires writing. I could really grow my skill set here. It's a foot in the door. Maybe journalism is the route to go. It seems easier to get into. So yeah, I submitted for a writing position. By the end of my first interview, they were like, so would you be opposed to doing social media? And I was like, so it sounds like the Lord is calling me to social media for some reason. I was like, this is the third time someone has asked me about doing social content, and that's not what I've set out to do. So I was like, okay, God, yeah.
Funny how it works that way, right?
He has such a sense of humor. So I said yes. I started out, was a part-time position. I covered weekends on their social channels. It was a lot of fan engagement, a lot of interaction. Was not as much strategy building at that point. I kind of followed the strategy that they had built and just executed. But that was okay because I was still a senior in high school. Tried to graduate high school. I was yearbook editor my senior year, student body president. So I'm trying to get all the things buttoned up at school Monday through Friday. And then Friday through Sunday, I'm covering NASCAR races from home 90% of the time. So by the time May rolled around, I was like, okay, this is fun. I love this. Not sure media side is for me, but hey, it's another box we needed to check. So by the time May came, I graduated high school on Friday. Gavin and my brother raced in Huntsville at Huntsville Speedway on Saturday. Sunday, my brand, the company I work for, our brand, was on a cup car at Darlington through a partnership. So I covered that remotely from home because I couldn't go because of graduation.
Right.
I left on Monday and went to North Wilkesboro and covered NASCAR All-Star Week for the platform. I was kind of boots on the ground that weekend. Oh my gosh, it was a blast. And then I came back from Wilkesboro the following Monday and had a full-time offer sitting on my desk.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I stepped into like their lead social position at that point, which meant I got to build out strategy. I got to oversee several partnerships that they had been working on with different teams, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that season of life. And I was fully convinced at that point. I was like, I can make this media thing work. It was an adjustment to get like the fan side turned off and to, give even and fair coverage to everyone was an adjustment, but it's okay. We figured it out. And truly, I was content. I was putting in long 60-hour weeks most of the time, just graduated high school. That August, I started taking classes at Middle Tennessee State University. I was pursuing a sports media degree. I'm actually still pursuing a sports media degree. I have I'll graduate in December, so about a year left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't talk about it a whole lot because I'm like, well.
You don't have time to talk about it, do you?
No, I don't have time to do it either. So yeah, I've taken about 90% of my classes online, thankfully. I have some great professors.
Isn't that so nice? Oh my goodness.
My gosh. I could not do what I do if it weren't for the technology to take classes online.
Yeah, that's so great.
But I have some great professors over there who understand what I do, who are super supportive and like, hey, what's it going to take? Like, what can we do to help make this happen for you? So that's been a great experience overall. But yeah, and then November of 2023, my company signed a contract with a truck series team that was just starting up to run their marketing and PR, and I was going to take the lead on it because they knew PR is where I wanted to be, and at that point, they were like, yeah, like, you're capable. Let's see what you got. And I was like,
Yeah, you are.
I was like, I am 19 years old. I have no PR experience, but I can run some social media, so let's see where this goes.
Let's do it.
And that's what we did. So I launched a truck series team. I mean, I built out the reveal for social. And
what exactly does that mean? For those of us who are not totally sure about all of the stuff, so truck series.
Okay, so
is there a quick explanation, or is there not a quick explanation?
I can give you a quick explanation.
Okay.
So now
I want to learn from you.
I got you. The top tier of NASCAR is pretty much like you have 3 top series in NASCAR now. You've got the Cup Series, which is your guys racing on Sundays, your Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, like that's kind of where they are. Then you have your Xfinity Series, which is your Saturday show. It's kind of like your middle ground.
Okay.
You've got a lot of young guns who are working their way up to the Cup Series, and then you've got some older guys who are kind of working their way out of the sport. Xfinity's a little bit slightly less of a schedule draining. Cup Series, you're 38 weekends a year. You have this year, our Cup guys have 1 off weekend, and it's Easter weekend. So we run middle of February to beginning of November. Yeah, it's insane. Wow. And then you have the truck series.
It's like a baseball schedule.
Yeah.
Baseball and hockey season.
But with baseball and hockey, like you go somewhere and you're like there.
Those are shorter though.
They're shorter, and you're there for 3 or 4 days, sneaking in 3 or 4 games. No, we're somewhere different every single weekend.
Goodness.
All across the country. So yeah. And then you have the truck series, which is where I am. We are kind of like the entry level series. We run a lot of times we're the first show of the weekend. We run on Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. We've got a lot of young guys in our series. It's kind of where everyone goes to figure it out. But we run 25 weekends between February and November, which is still a lot.
It's still a lot, yeah.
It's a lot less than what our Cup guys are doing. So, so my company started working with a group who was starting up a truck series team, which sounds so easy, but is so not easy.
It doesn't really, though.
No, not really good. I'm glad.
Maybe it's because I don't know anything about it, but I'm like, no, that sounds kind of hard.
Yeah, no, it is definitely hard. And so, yeah, I started doing all of the marketing and PR for that, and I, unfortunately, it did not last very long. We had there was a lot of issues at hand, but it unfortunately that chapter of my life ended in June this past year, actually at Nashville. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's a home track race. Like, I'm going to get to finally show off what I've been doing in front of all of my family and my friends. And then I was like, okay, cool. No, I'm not. So that was really hard. But so while I was running Truck Series stuff, I was still running social media for this content platform that I started with way back at this point. So I would work on social media for the media side from like 8 to 2, and then I would do Truck Series PR from like 2 to 8. And that was my
goodness, girl.
Yeah, that was my Monday through Thursday, and then I would travel on the weekends and meet the Truck Series team wherever they are. So I was running PR for this team still from Nashville. Team was in North Carolina. I was still in Nashville, and it was hard. I had a lot of great people supporting me from North Carolina, like, hey, here's pictures, here's content, here's the support,
That's
as much support as we can give, but like it was still really hard. And so in April, I remember I went to my boss and I was like, hey, I can't keep doing both. Like, something's got to give here, and I'm not willing to give up PR, because I knew the second I started that, like, that I loved it. So we pulled me off the social media team for the content platform and switched me into more of like a driver and team partnerships management position. So I got to work with a lot of our Xfinity Series teams through different partnerships. I was able to do a lot more with the Truck Series team just because I had a little bit more time on my hands. And I was able to go to some more races. So that was great.
Yay.
Yeah, more travel.
Because you're still a fan, too.
Yeah. So that was something that, working with the Truck Series team through the mess and through also balancing the media platform, I lost the joy in it. I was listening to
I totally get that.
I was listening to your intro episode, and I was like, oh my gosh,
you don't know how much I get that.
I was like, she understands.
Yep.
I lost the joy in it. I couldn't, like, it pained me I felt like I had to watch a race. I didn't get to watch a race. I had to be at the track. I didn't get to be at the track. And like, whenever I realized like that my mentality had shifted, I was like, oh, hold on. Like, I am not even 20 years old, and I am miserable at something I said I was going to love for the rest of my life. What am I doing? So in July, I walked away. I left my job at the company. The Truck Series team had already shut down. I wrapped up. I got to cover the Chicago street race, which was a huge deal for NASCAR.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds really awesome.
That was my last weekend on the road with my company. So I went and covered that, and I got back on Monday. I wrapped up those deals, and I called my boss. I said, okay. I said, this is it. I said, I've got to step away from me while I can. And so I walked away in July and did a lot of work on myself. I didn't realize at the time how bad of a place I was in, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Like, I was in such a negative headspace.
It can totally sneak up on you.
It can. It happens. Like, and I really hadn't stopped long enough to realize how bad I was. But I mean, I had people coming up to me after the fact and being like, we didn't even recognize who you were. Like, you didn't know who you were. We didn't recognize you. Like, you had driven yourself to the point of misery. So I stepped away in July, and it was probably the scariest thing I've done. Because in racing, it out of sight, out of mind happens overnight. So I was really scared. I was like, what am I going to do if I walk away and I can't get myself back? Like, and then it became, is this something I even want to do? And so I think for the first time in, 7 years, I actually questioned, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So it took a lot of time. I did a lot of work. I kind of just checked out from the industry as a whole. I did some freelance stuff. I got back into my short track roots. I had missed a lot of races. I don't miss races at Nashville Fairgrounds often. That place means the world to me, and I had missed several, and I missed the people there, and so I plugged back in. I did some short track stuff, and then I slowly, August, September, started rolling around, and I started getting the itch again. I was like, okay.
There it is.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we're good. We're back. Everything's fine. I'm a new person. So yeah, I started doing some freelance stuff with the Xfinity series. I had some connections there. I was like, hey, if you need me on a couple weekends, I'm available. I don't mind helping out. And so from there, by middle of September, I had landed 3 interviews in a week and had 3 job offers come in a week. Yeah, so we were in Bristol for the night race, and my family, we have season tickets to Bristol, so I was up there anyways, and I had already kind of agreed to help out an Xfinity Series team that weekend with some guests and hospitality, and 3 truck teams called me that week and said, hey, we want you, and I was like, whoa.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I was like, okay. And then I went into the negotiation period, which I never in a million years dreamed that that's where I would be.
That's so cool.
Point, it's not often that a 20-year-old female in a male sport gets to sit back and negotiate. So
did you have an idea of which one you wanted to choose? And then it was like, kind of like, okay, I think I want this, but let's talk money, but let's talk, or was it like equal? Or do you not want to say?
Well, I can say. It was pretty equal. So, how do I want to word this? It was pretty equal. And I was at a point where I was like, let's take money out of the picture. Let's really sit back and look at who's at these teams, where these teams are going. Is their brand and their reputation something I want to be a part of? Because that was really important to me.
That's very important.
That I was in. I was like, is their reputation something that I'm willing to attach myself to? So it was a lot of like hard conversations and a lot of really deep thinking. And the issue was I had about 4 days to make a decision.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I went back and forth between 2 teams probably 18 times in those 4 days, and ultimately I settled on Niece, obviously, and I knew from the first day I started that was the right decision. So from the time Niece gave me their offer to the time I started was less than 10 days, which meant I met with my professors at MTSU. I had in-person classes that semester. Met with my professors and said, hey, I just got this dream opportunity. I can't turn it down. Can you work with me? We modified some classes really fast. I found an apartment in North Carolina. I moved out of my parents' house. I moved 7 hours from home. We came to North Carolina on Sunday. I moved into my apartment Monday, and I started at Niece at 8 a.m. Tuesday. Yeah, so I started at Niece in October, and I have loved it ever since. It has been the best thing for me. Really good group of people, really close family oriented, and then I was able to cover the last 3 races of the 2024 season with them. So we were able to hit Homestead, Miami, Martinsville, and Phoenix before the off-season hit. And so now I am full steam ahead. I leave for Daytona, and 2 weeks from now, I will be in Daytona with them.
What is your favorite racetrack you have been to? And which one is on your bucket list that you have not been to yet?
Okay, so...
Or have you been to all of them?
I haven't been to all of them. I will check close to all of them this season. But I haven't been to all of them yet. It's so hard to pick a favorite track that I've been to, though, because they're all so different. Nashville Super Speedway is special because, It's in my backyard. It's close to home. Home track races.
I haven't been there either. I'm so
We're
sorry.
We're gonna get you there. You're gonna come with me
Sounds good.
this year. Like, I'm determined. I will have
this
you there.
weekend.
No, I wish.
I know. Just kidding.
No, this season, you will.
Got it.
I will get you
All right,
there.
I'm in.
Yeah, let's see. Bristol is really special to me because that's where I grew up going. I mean, we had season tickets twice a year. North Wilkesboro is just like, it's an old historic track. It's probably one of the older ones. Darlington, also an old track. Daytona, it sounds so cliche, but Daytona is so special. I will never forget, you go through the tunnel there and you're just like, whoa. Like, it takes your breath away. And I've been twice now. We went to Daytona in 2023, actually. That was my senior gift for graduating high school, was to go to the Daytona 500.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, I had just had my ankle reconstructed, was in a boot, walking up the 30-degree banking. It was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But I said, we were sitting in the infield on top of one of the Cup garages watching practice or something, and I literally turned to my mom and I said, I'm not coming back until I have a job here. And I was back the very next year working the Daytona truck race. And I had
full circle.
We came through the tunnel and I had a little moment, and I was filming our ride in for content, and so I quickly got back into work mode, and then we were standing on the grid doing invocation and national anthem before the green flag, and I visibly remember standing there with tears streaming down my face, because I was like, holy cow, I did it. And 365
You're gonna
days
make me cry right now.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow. It was a crazy full circle moment. And then that same earlier in 2024, or a little bit later after Daytona, we went to Bristol. And my family was there that weekend, and a picture had popped up in my mom's Facebook memories from 10 years ago. Was my first trip to Bristol that weekend while we were there.
No way.
It was a picture of me with my arms up in front of Jimmy Johnson's hauler, because he was my favorite back then. And she's
you might
like,
have
wait.
to send me that picture.
I will. She was like, wait, your hauler hasn't pulled in yet. Let's go recreate it. So we did. So I went and did the same little pose in front of the hauler that I was working with.
I must show everyone both of these photos.
I will. I'll send them to you. But that was another, full circle moment. I was just like, holy cow. Had you told that little girl what she would be doing now, she wouldn't have believed you by any means.
And look how much you have ahead of you, too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
crushing it already.
It's crazy. So, but
fun.
that's kind of how I got here. That's my story. Bucket list track. You asked me that too.
Yes,
Sorry.
bucket list track. It's okay.
Darlington was top of my list. I checked that box this past year.
Where is Darlington?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's Darlington is always throwback weekend. All of our paint schemes are throwbacks to old paint schemes from they try to pick a different era of NASCAR, and so we all throw back to the same era. So that's always my favorite weekend. I'm a big history person. I guess Indy would probably be next on my bucket list.
Okay.
The 500 would be super cool, but we also run the Brickyard 400 there. We're back on the oval, which is going to be super special this year for the Cup Series. The Truck Series we get to run at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, which is a short track just outside of town. 15 minutes from the big track. So I will get to see Indy, the big track, when we fly in. Probably won't get to go over there because we'll be busy doing our own thing. But I would say that Brickyard is
that would be a really
next.
cool one to go to. Well, we should tell everyone kind of the funny story of how we met. So we met randomly at the Sports Girls Club Women in Sports Conference in Nashville in July of 2023, I believe. So we just ended up chatting at a table with other ladies, right? And then we're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, what do you do? And then, oh, where are you from? Where are you from? And I'm like, oh, you're from Eagleville. Do you know? I won't name her, but you're like, that's like my best friend.
Yeah,
or family best friend.
Connecting all the dots. I was like, how have we not met before?
That's so funny. And then I was like, do you know this person? Do you know this person?
Yeah. Stuff
so
like
funny.
that, though, I will never forget that weekend. I was like so far out of my comfort zone. I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
felt.
me too.
I had never been to anything like that.
I'm an introvert, so the fact that I'm even doing this podcast is like, what?
Same.
But yeah, getting out and meeting people, I'm not good at it. I'm really not.
No. I always tell people I'm an introvert until race cars come up, and then you can't get me to shut up. Like, if you get me talking about racing,
I get it.
I can be an extrovert. You would never know, but other than that, oof, I struggle.
Yep. We are similar in that. Do you have a favorite event that you have covered? You might have already answered that, kind of. Potentially.
Daytona was really special. Darlington,
I feel like I would have guessed that.
Yeah. Darlington was really special this year as well. So the first driver I worked with was actually Richard Petty's grandson.
No way. I know who that is. Not his grandson. So I know who Richard Petty is.
Well, I got to, this past season was the Petty family's 75th anniversary in NASCAR. Okay. So we got to run a special Petty 75 throwback to Richard. We got to film.
I remember seeing the little car that you were promoting. Or no.
Yes.
You were promoting
so actually
the names
today. Yeah.
No
we
way.
put names on the deck lid. The diecast actually shipped today.
Diecast.
Out
that's
to everybody. Yeah.
Very
so that
cool.
was really cool. We did a whole merch line about it. We did a whole social media campaign. We ran the names on the deck lid. We got to film stuff with Richard. We actually got to go up to their family's museum and garage and kind of do some behind the scenes stuff. So that was, and I was the brain power behind it. That was my brainchild for, the longest
You're
time.
Amazing.
So I think I am probably most proud of how that weekend went, just overall start to finish. But then I think, this sounds so bad of me to say, but I truly think I'm most proud of whenever I chose to walk away.
It doesn't sound weird at all.
Because I needed that. I did that for me. I needed that for myself. And it was hard to walk away and then to fight to get myself back in. So whenever I look back on everything, I think that's probably the time when I am most proud of, is stepping away from it all. And
I'm proud of you too.
Walking back into it a totally new person.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes stepping back and resetting and then finding it with a new set of fresh eyes, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fresh perspective, fresh group of people, it changes everything.
Yeah. Intentional rest, one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah. I struggled.
Oh my gosh.
What do you mean? I just sit still on a Friday night? I'm not at the racetrack. All of my friends are at the racetrack. I'm not there. I'm like, holy cow, I don't have to watch the race if I don't want to watch the race. If it's too hard to watch the race, I can go do something else. So that was a really hard season of life, but it was probably the most rewarding. I think I learned the most about myself in those 3 months of just sitting and sitting and nothing.
Yeah. I love that. It's just a good example and a good lesson to share with everyone. Sometimes that's what it takes. On the spot here, do you have any advice for any women who are aspiring to get into PR or social media, or even just doing any kind of media in motorsports?
So much advice. I feel like you could learn so much. I would start off with saying, pave your own path and write your own story. Just because my story is the way that it is doesn't mean that your story is going to go that way. Whenever I was trying to get my foot in the door, I talked to so many people, and they all got there somewhere different. Half of them had a degree, half of them didn't. Half of them said, oh, yeah, you need that. Half said, no, you don't. Or half said, go talk to this person, and the other half said, stay away. Like, you just really have to go in there and pave your own path and write your own story and do what works for you. I would also say connections and networking is everything. Yes. I think that goes for all sports, though.
I will concur.
Yeah, like, even if you think, like, oh, do I really need to go talk to that person? Yes, you do. Just go introduce yourself. It makes the biggest difference.
They might even just become your friend. You may not even, nothing else may happen out of it. They might be your best friend, though. Like, you never know.
There are so many people that I inquired, and I was like, hey, do you have any openings? Like, hey, I'm kind of starting to look for something. What do you have? And they're like, no, we don't have anything open, but this person does. Like, you should let me send a quick text and I'll get you connected with them. Like, just talking to people makes the world of difference.
It really
but
does.
With that, you can never have too many tools in your tool belt. The more experience and skills you can have, I think I mentioned it earlier, I got my foot in the door because I wanted to be a writer. They handed me a Twitter login and said, you're going to do social media. I said, okay. And now, like, the social media side has carried me so much further. I've gotten to dabble in more writing, and then that's kind of expanded into a full-time photography, videography role. Like, just being able to have those skills has carried me so much further than anything else. And you can never have too many.
It makes you so much more valuable. Like, you bring so much value anyway, but, like, having, being able to do things and being able to do them well too. Like, that just adds so much value to what you bring to the position and the company. And it just makes it easier for you, It makes you able to enjoy your job more, because you're like, oh I know how to do this, rather than like
well, and my thing is, like, find things that you enjoy and become really good at them. Like, I love photography, and so whenever I started doing PR and social, I was like, I want to take my own pictures. Like, I don't want to use another photographer's pictures. I want to take my own. And so from there, like, that's kind of how I landed the position that I was in, and that I'm in now. What else? Don't say no just because it isn't your end goal right now.
That's a good one.
I think so many people were like, say yes to everything, and I don't fully agree with that.
I don't either.
There's right and wrong opportunities, and you have to be the one to decide what's the right opportunity for you right now. If you're looking to go into the media side and you think, oh, the only way I can get into this organization is through athletic training, probably not your best option. So don't feel like you have to say yes to everything, but also don't say no just because it's not where you want to be. A lot of times, smaller positions lead to bigger positions and growth over time.
Definitely. So, and your dream job is not going to be your first job. Like, you're not just going to land the dream job, like, right out of the bat or right off the bat.
Absolutely. You have to go through those learning experiences to be able to appreciate the dream that much more.
That's what I like to tell people when they ask, like, how do you get to be on the NFL sidelines? And I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, like, I can tell you how I got there, but I can't tell you how you're going to get there. There's no right or
wrong way to get there, though.
There's not. There's so many different paths. So, those are perfect.
My last piece of advice is take it one lap at a time. If your lap needs to be a day, if it needs to be an hour, take whatever you need it to be and do it one at a time. For me, during the season when I walked away, it was 1 hour at a time. What do I need to do to get through the next hour? Or what can I do in the next hour to make myself better? And so it started out 1 day at a time, and then I changed it to 1 hour at a time. And I was like, you know what? One lap at a time fits so much better, because a lap can be whatever I need it to be right then and there. And I literally think I spent 2 months just like debating between what camera I wanted.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
I got a Canon R6 Mark II.
Canon girl. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
R6. I am jealous. I am not mirrorless yet.
Okay. I was not mirrorless for the longest time, and it will change your life.
I have borrowed one, and I
will not ever
didn't want to return it.
Played with it then, and then I was like just kind of starting to figure it out, and I was like, I think I need a bigger lens because I got a 70.
You always need a bigger lens.
I know.
Just always get a bigger lens.
Started with like a 28 to 70, and then I got a 70 to 200, and I was like, 200's really just not doing it for me.
That is my favorite lens, though. I will talk about it all day long. It is my it's my favorite lens because it's the most versatile. But for further reach, yes, you need something bigger.
Yeah, so I ended up pulling the trigger, and I got a 100 to 500 a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I was debating between the 5 and the 8, and I went with the 5 because I am a tiny person, and I needed to be able to like carry it around.
Those are heavy.
So now
they're all really heavy.
Have, like the monopods to help hold.
No, really?
Up. Yeah,
they
we
don't
can't have those.
Oh.
So I was like, I gotta have something that I can like tote around.
Yeah.
And hold
Okay. So
steady.
if you have the lens I'm thinking of, that one is able to be handheld in a tight situation. Because I used to have the 100 to 400, 4.5, 5.6. Sorry for anyone who's not a photographer. We're nerding out. Deal with it. And it was like the push-pull mechanism. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the old thing.
Yeah.
I'm now, I sold it. I'm in the process of upgrading. But there's also the same lens that has the turning. I'm not good with actual technical words, but that one is a really good. Is that the one that you have? You said 500 though. Okay.
Yeah, I have the 500, and it's the turning one. But I was able to hold it. My brother actually raced at Atlanta Motor Speedway this past weekend, so I took it down there and played with it. And then we had our 2-day organizational test at Rockingham.
Sweet.
So I was able
yeah,
to
you
get
can
it to a
definitely
big
handhold
track.
that one.
Yeah, I was able to get it on a big track, and it was
perfect.
Oh my gosh, I had the most fun playing with it.
I can see how probably a 200 would for sure not be enough for racing, because it's not like you can be, 20 feet away from them, really.
Yeah. It's good for like stuff in the shop or stuff around the garage. Anything up close, it's great. But anything on track, it wasn't gonna cut it.
That's understandable. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have to have I'm just nerding out. You have to have an adapter for that one, right? Because it's an EF lens, not an RF. Or is it an RF?
So it is an RF.
So it's a newer one. I'm so jealous. Okay. That is not the same lens that I have. That's better.
The running joke we currently have is that I am buying camera equipment instead of having children. And it's costing me about the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm up to 3 cameras right now. It's fine.
Girl, you got more gear than I have.
It's an unhealthy addiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still rocking a Mark III and rocking a 5D Mark III and a Mark IV. And I've got the 70 to 200, and then I'm upgrading. I sold some stuff, and I'm going to buy some new stuff, but...
Yeah, I have a R5 that was a hand-me-down, and then I have a T8i. That was the one I had before
Welcome
this.
to your NFL headlines of the day.
Alexa, stop! I might leave that in there.
You need a bloopers reel.
That's a great idea. Did you hear what she said?
Right, yes. That was fantastic.
That's what makes it even better.
I know.
Your NFL updates for today.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to hear those, but it's fine. I'm just kidding.
You should have let her play played them and we could have talked about them.
I should have. I forgot that happens at 7:15 every night. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, okay, if there's a way for me to keep that in there or have bloopers. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Paige. It was great to hear from you. Great to see you and hear from you. And yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun. I am so
You're our
excited.
first guest. You're my first guest.
I feel so special. When you asked, I was like, are you sure I'm qualified for this?
Absolutely.
No, it's been so much fun to watch you just kind of start this back up and keep crushing it. And I feel like every time I turn around, you're doing something else awesome again. I love getting to cheer you on and live vicariously through you, honestly.
I might be crazy for doing all of these things, but
we all are, honestly. You can't work in sports and not be a little bit crazy, I've decided.
That's true. It's true. It's the creative minds. The creative mind
Yes.
never stops getting ideas and thinking, and I've just met so many amazing women like you. I'm like, people should hear about this. Like, and I also get asked questions that I'm like, I don't really know how to answer, but I might know somebody who can answer, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's our sideline of the story. Or side track of the story. Is that a thing?
Trackside.
Trackside.
There you go.
Trackside. Yes, there we go. All right. Well, also we'll stay in touch. So, all right. Well, thank you.